So, how about that Markiplier movie, huh? I have no idea how to start this. I'm not going off a script, I'm just gonna ramble. So, Iron Lung, his first foray into filmmaking. I kind of wanted to do this little video because a lot of what you'll hear about this movie is a lot of Markiplier fans calling it a 10 out of 10 Oscar-winning masterpiece. And on the other side, you'll have people trying to overcorrect that hype and call it a bad movie. And you'll have, friends of Markiplier on YouTube, other influencers talking about the movie. I saw the movie totally blind, right? I know who Markiplier is. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. I used to watch him many, many moons ago. I actually remember when the first Five Nights at Freddy's video was uploaded to YouTube. I watched it when it came out. So that if that doesn't age me a bit, I don't know what does. I know very little about Iron Lung. I know about the game conceptually, right? And I think it's a very cool game. I just haven't played it. So I know none of the lore. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good position to kind of give, I guess, an unbiased blind review of Iron Lung. This is as close to an average Joe going to the movies with a friend to go see Iron Lung as you can possibly get. Not that my opinion matters, but it's good perspective, right? If whatever ungodly reason Markiplier decides to watch this video, it would be good for him sort of to hear, I guess, what an unbiased opinion of the movie is. So, what did I think of the movie? I thought it was pretty good. A long story short, it's refreshing to see a horror movie in the year 2026 that doesn't have a single jump scare in it. There is not one jump scare in this movie. The horror, and that's very much a deliberate choice because the game Iron Lung doesn't really have jump scares. It's all deep ocean, dark ambient, weird noises, and it's all mood and atmosphere. And the movie replicates that sort of feeling very well. So if you're going into this thinking, Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever, just a jump scare shit fest, you're not going to get that with this movie. It's shot very well. Camera work is pretty great. I think the audio mixing could have been a little bit better, but it's not that bad. There's some moments where it's like, what the hell is he saying? Practical effects. That's a huge plus for me. There's very little CG in this movie, and I very much appreciate that. I was blind enough to the point where I didn't even know the cast. I didn't know the cast list. I haven't seen a trailer. I haven't seen anything. I knew Markiplier was making the movie. I didn't know he was acting in it. So when I went to the theater with my friend and I saw Markiplier in the cast of the movie, I was a bit surprised. I'm like, oh, wow, okay, he's in the movie. Let's see how he does as an actor. Markiplier as an actor is very interesting because he's pretty good. There's a lot of, emotionally heavy scenes that, he delivers pretty well. There's emotional depth to the character that he's able to muster. But there's also these little moments where you're sort of taken out of the character a bit of Simon, the main character of the movie. I specifically remember a scene where he's sort of looking into the engine hall and he realizes he has to, crawl in and start up the, the backup switch. And he's looking through this, tiny crawl space and he's like, and he'll drop a, oh, fuck me. And I'm like, no, that's not Simon, that's Markiplier. There's little things like that sort of, I guess, take you out of the movie a little bit, but I think they're kind of funny. But maybe if you're going into this movie wanting full immersion into this game world, that might take you out of it a little bit, but it's not that bad. I guess for the rest of the cast, I didn't know who else was in the movie. And I guess that sort of segues into, I guess, a criticism that I have of this movie. I wish the other characters got some more screen time because I don't remember them very well. And I think that, in Mark's defense, I think that's a deliberate choice because the emphasis is on the claustrophobia of this tiny submarine, not knowing what's around you. It's a fear of the unknown kind of horror. It very much comes across to me as a deliberate choice to have the rest of these actors be mostly just voice lines through, the little speaker intercom system in the submarine. So the rest of the cast, let's see. Carolyn Rose Kaplan as Ava. I'm not super familiar with this person. She did a pretty good job as Ava. I really liked her delivery. She plays the staunch, heavy-fisted general sort of character pretty well. Let's see. American actress known Amaru Hundenberg, Plot Against America. NCIS, Orange is the New Black. Okay, so she's got some credits to her name. So I wasn't super familiar with her, but she did pretty good in this movie. And she's I guess the character in the movie that gets the most actual screen time other than Markiplier himself. And then Troy Baker as David, which is so great. I love that he's in this movie. Troy Baker's great. Elise Lockhart as the voice of the speaker. Let's see, I'm not super familiar with this person either. Has Been Hotel. Okay, that's probably why I'm not super familiar with this person. So I don't watch Has Been Hotel. Ellie Lamont as voice of the Whisper. Alita Battle Angel. Okay, Stings, Mercy Black. All right. Mick Power Moves Lauer as the voice of SM13's previous occupant. That Troy Baker and Mick Lauer were the only people that, well, we'll get to the next one in a little bit, but Markiplier, Troy Baker, and Mick Lauer were the names that stuck out to me. I was very sort of dumbfounded when I saw his name come up as like the third name in the opening of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck, Mick Lauer? What's he doing in this movie? So he does a good job in this movie. He's a pretty good voice actor, despite questionable scenarios. But we won't. That's not for this video. David Petit as the father. I don't remember this character at all. Sean McLaughlin, Mr. Jacksepticeye, is in this movie for a little bit as Jack. He's in the movie for a couple seconds and gets radiated the fuck out. The gimmick of the game is you use this little camera and you only see little stills of outside of the ship. And so, he's sort of on the surface, and to get the captain's attention, he uses the camera and blasts the fuck out of this character, and not realizing it's a radiation camera. So that was pretty funny. Elena Pierce as a familiar voice. I don't remember this role at all. Let's see, who is this person? Rooster Teeth. Okay, got it. So a lot of these actors, have some credits either online or video games or television. Again, I wish they got a little more time for their characters to sort of develop in the movie, or at least give them something. The most we get is Ava, who's the captain of the mission, and Simon. We see very little of everyone else. I guess that's sort of a good segue into my next criticism, is that the movie, there's an A plot and a B plot. The A plot is explained pretty well. Simon, the convict, did some horrible crimes. He blew up this base, who's doing this submarine mission under the discretion of Ava as sort of community service, for lack of a better term. So he has to go down and, collect these samples out of this ocean of blood to, I guess, find some sort of, missing link between how humanity ended up in this situation. And then that sort of ties in a little bit to the B plot, which is explained very poorly. Right? So throughout the movie, Simon's character sort of, travels about trying to find, a skeleton. He tries to find samples in this ocean of blood. And then spliced in between, his travels, it sort of tries to explain the world that the movie exists in, why things are the way that they are, the sort of mythos of the world, through these bizarre flashback scenes that don't make a whole lot of sense. Now, again, that might be my own fault, because I never played Iron Lung and sort of went into this movie blind. So if you're familiar with the game, I think you're getting a little more enjoyment out of it than I did. But the A plot is explained very clearly. The B plot is explained kind of shit. This is going to be a really weird comparison. Well, I guess Troy Baker's in the movie, but it does this sort of Final Fantasy 13 method of storytelling, where it sort of throws you into the world, drops a whole bunch of jargon, and kind of tells you, okay, you figure it out, dumbass. So it kind of just expects you to know what's happening. That's some points away from me because, if again, I'm going into this movie blind, it was sort of a curiosity. I wanted to, support, the movie because I think it's refreshing to see something like this made not by Hollywood. Honestly, the B plot could have even just been cut out of the movie. And it would change absolutely nothing about it. Maybe that's controversial to say, but it kind of proved me wrong. Right? If you cut out all of those little bullshit flashback scenes, would it have changed the movie at all? No, it wouldn't have. The movie has a little bit of pacing issues, especially near the end of the movie. As the oxygen starts to deplete in the submarine, Simon has these sort of crazy hallucinations of ethereal beings way beyond himself. It's very Lovecraftian sort of horror. And, as the oxygen depletes, he has these very vivid hallucinations and nightmares that you don't really know are nightmares or not, or you don't know if it's happening in the real world or if he's just hallucinating these things. But the climax of the movie, he goes and gets this black box and he downloads it off of the previous submarine into the main one, and has to save it so Ava can reuse the information from the previous missions. As that tension is building up, he's running out of oxygen, these hallucinations are getting insane, there's crazy, batshit crazy, paranormal scenarios happening. I'm trying not to be too spoilery with this, and it's just ramping up and ramping up and ramping up, and that ending sequence is just way too goddamn long, right? It like I got to the point where it was like, okay, keep on going with this, I guess. It reminded me of, if any of you have seen Oppenheimer, the interrogation scene in the courts, that just went on and on. I'm almost wondering if the ending sequence was as long as it was so theaters could accept screening it. Because I think some theaters have screen time requirements in order to be shown in a theater. I think, maybe I'm making that up, I think the movie would have been better if some of that stuff was trimmed down a bit and then just get rid of the B plot, right? The world building kind of goes against the point of the movie. The point of the movie is, and the game is, you don't know what's around you. So when you try to explain it, it takes away. Less is more in situations like this. Those would be my biggest criticisms of the movie. Other than that, this is your first movie. It's beating Sam Raimi in the box office, which is insane. $3 million some movie making $20 million in the first week. It's like, holy shit. If those are your only problems, I'd say you're in a pretty good shape. This is your first movie. You're blowing up in the box office. And those are the only criticisms that I have of the movie. Keep going, Mark. Keep going. You have a knack for this. You can only go up from here. So I think Mark should keep making movies. This was a fun time. I enjoyed it despite my criticisms. So, Iron Lung, I think you should go see this movie. I'd give it, a score. I want to say either 6.5 or 7 out of 10, around there. I don't think it's going to be winning any awards, but it is an enjoyable movie, and you should definitely go see it. So, Iron Lung blind review. Thanks for watching, I guess. If you want, subscribe. I don't know, maybe I'll do more of these. This was totally unscripted. The most I have is just a Wikipedia page showing the cast names, because some of them I just genuinely don't remember. Again, lack of screen time. But go see this movie. Go see Iron Lung. It's pretty good. It's a good time. And that's a wrap on this. So thanks for watching, guys.